go.
Hey, something's going on here with the pipe.
Yeah, this reminds me of polyester pants.
Definitely is.
Goodness. Welcome everyone to another Retirement Roundup Unfiltered. And I went off screen. Oh no. That always happens. Let me stop this music too because this is driving me insane. This always happens. Jerry, hopefully you'll still be here in a second. I gotta reboot my thing.
Not going anywhere. I'm still hanging out. We're having a good time here. The good news is that we're figuring this out. This is only our second live stream, so we're trying to figure out how these buttons work and what happens. And there we go.
I'm back
on the scene.
There we go. I have to get a new card. Sorry, everyone out there that may be tuning into this or watching a replay because technology works.
Give us a thumbs up and let us know you're here.
Sometimes. Yeah, let us know if you can hear us. Let us know where you're from because we're going to get into the great political migration today. Jerry and I have both put out some videos this past week about specifically the mayoral race in New York City and what has taken place there. People have definitely taken sides. I got 400 or 500 comments, something like that. Jerry, I know you got a bunch too.
Had calls into the office. People do want to move, and then people that are saying they don't want to move. So, it goes every which way.
Yeah, well, I have to tell you, I mean, I've run out of popcorn because the comments were coming in so fast. I'm sitting there watching, just seeing this popcorn. But it's a big debate. People that are in New York specifically, that is classified as a blue state, okay, the Democrats, and we all know about the new mayor dude coming in who's like 32 years old, married to a 28-year-old woman. And he really, tipped the scales. It wasn't like he just won by a hair. He won by a lot.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are either concerned or they're happy. So here's the thing that has to do with what we're talking about is no matter where you are in life, we're in the retirement end of this thing. So a lot of people are kind of winding down their jobs and they're concerned about what to do or how to do it or where to go. I think that is the big concern with everybody is what do we do? Now what? And nobody knows where this is going anywhere, whether you like what he's proposing. And, I think it fits a lot of younger people because they're getting things that they've wanted. But if somebody has accumulated a little bit of assets, I just had a call from a lady who was a homeowner and she says, I do live in a nicer neighborhood and I don't want to I'm already paying ridiculous property taxes and I don't want to get any more property taxes. So, that's the balance act here. So
yeah,
where do you go and what do you do?
Exactly. That's the big question. Listen, this is totally interactive. We're here to have a conversation with you, the viewers. So go ahead, throw your comments in there. If you have questions, whatever, because we got so many comments, calls, texts, emails, smoke signals from people about these videos that we put up this past week. It's really polarized a lot of the country, never mind just New York City. So go ahead, throw them in there. Let us know that you're live. Let us know that you can hear us and things are working well because we're going to go through some of the stats that are actually staggering when you take a look at what's going on in New York City and what's pushing this migration that's happening. Now, it's been happening for a while, but this event that took place, this new mayor coming in, man, he pulled the trigger and people are like, we're done. We have to go. And a lot of people come back to me and they say things like, you don't know what you're talking about. You've never been there before. You don't know what life is like. Listen, I grew up in New York City. I used to live in the Upper East Side of New York City. Okay, I've been there. I used to drive a motorcycle through New York City. My mother, God rest her soul, if she heard that, she probably going to hit me upside the head. But I used to do it. So I know New York City really well. And I know what the attitude is and what people like and what they don't like. And it really, again, like I said before, it's been polarized. It's amazing to see how divided the people have become in the city of New York. And we're not talking about just Manhattan. We're talking about all 5 boroughs. And Staten Island, believe it or not, is the leading borough with people saying they're going to exit.
I don't think it's just New York, though, I mean, if you think about where we are in the nation, I mean, we've got people that are definitely divided. And we've heard this for a couple of years now. We've been hearing it. Um, whether they believe one way or the other. I had one client of mine who had moved to Florida, okay, and they decided they were going to move, and they bought a new house and everything was great, and they found out that one neighbor on one side had flags of one kind and the other one had flags of another, and they got into major battles with each other every day, and they said, we got to get the hell out of here. And so they did. They actually got totally out of Florida and they came to South Carolina, which is, again, how that ended up. But the point being is, it is a comfort level. So if you're not comfortable where you live, wherever that is, and especially in retirement, you know, you got to be comfortable. One of the top things is it's not just the house, right? It's the what else? It's all the other things that you're surrounded around. And if you're not comfortable, whether it's crime statistics, you don't feel safe, maybe. If you don't feel comfortable with who you're surrounded with, maybe. Because again, if you're in fights with your neighbor every day, which this lady was, and I'm telling you about, it's a problem. And people don't want to do that. You have to have a conducive lifestyle to be happy if you want to be a happy retiree rather than just a retiree.
Yeah, so I'm looking down here on purpose. I'm not ignoring you,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was just listening to your melodious voice, but I was also pulling up some of the comments because I want to share some of these comments because it really, it really describes the attitudes that are coming out, because these are coming out of people's mouths. Okay, maybe they're actually coming out of their fingertips as they're typing them in, but MAGA BS. Okay, that's a classic. Stay where you are, please. If they vote blue, they shouldn't get to leave to a red zone. Amen. New Yorkers habitually vote Democratic. This has led to the situation you currently find yourself in. If you're thinking of moving to Florida, Texas, Tennessee, South Carolina, you're welcome as long as you vote red when you get here. Don't come if you're staying Democratic. You are fleeing what you've already destroyed. Staying a Democrat, stay in New York. So, I mean, that's just a taste of what people are feeling that live in different states that see this migration happening. Now, before we came on the stream today, Jerry and I, we were talking about, how we already have seen this. We get a lot of traffic that comes in from the Northeast, specifically New York. Florida is not on everyone's radar anymore, but South Carolina has become one of those magnets. North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, not so much. I don't know why, but and of course, Florida, people still have that seed planted in their brain from decades ago. So if any of this resonates with you, throw a comment up there. We'll throw it up on screen. We can have a discussion about it. But one of the things that I wanted to kind of bring up, because people try to call me out on this and say, no one's leaving New York. What are you kidding? Blah, blah, blah. It's going to be great. There's going to be free buses. There's going to be city-owned grocery stores. All this other great stuff that they're going to do. And, here are some of the numbers. 9% of New York residents, and this is a poll that came out by the Daily Beast, by the New York Post, by the Economic Times. 9% of New York City residents said that they would definitely leave if Mamdani were elected. Okay, that's 9%. There's 8+ million people. Let's just round it for ease of math to 10%. That's 800,000 people leaving. Mm-hmm. That said they're definitely leaving. That's more than all the people that live in Staten Island, that's for sure. Another 25% said that they would consider leaving. In one poll, 26.5% said they were considering moving if he won. So that's a secondary poll. That's even higher than the 9%. I mean, that's huge. In raw numbers, that means 8.4 million residents. 765,000 said they would definitely leave, and another 2.12 million said they may consider leaving. Those numbers are staggering. And it causes problems. It's not a windfall for states that might be receiving these people leaving, these new residents, but it's what happens to the infrastructure when there's a mass exodus of people from a particular state. So let's see, we got PJ here. When there are no more givers, there's only takers. Yeah, that's a very typical comment. Yeah, thanks, PJ. I mean, we see that all the time.
Yeah.
When we got a Floridian here. Let's see. I live in Florida, not far from the Palm Coast. We still have a large amount of transplants moving. Are they moving in or moving out? Because I know a lot of transplants going into Florida, leaving Florida.
That's an interesting. That is true. A lot of people are moving in. I mean, it is a net migration to Florida as far, but a lot of people are moving out because it's not what they thought it was going to be back in the day, and it's not the Florida of years ago either. So,
I love the name too, Bongwater Taffy. Awesome. Very.
Yeah.
That's some nasty stuff right there. Let's see. We have Al here. Hey, Al, how you doing? Let's not lie about it. New York City has been in trouble since Mayor Lindsay's days. That's one of the comments I got as well. And it's bounced around. I mean, you had Dink in there, you had Giuliani there,
Yep.
You had all of these. You had, I think, Cuomo was even in there at one point. Yeah, they've bounced around and they've been in trouble, and they've always tried to dig their way out. Some guys did better than others. I think one or two guys actually got sued or were found guilty of mismanagement or other stuff.
So the interesting thing here is, out of all the polls, whatever it might be, I think the one thing that I hear over and over again is, survey says, cost of living.
Yes.
If you're retired, if you're making money and you're in New York, there's two sides here. Okay, you're making money. You're either scrapping, trying to get by, or you've made money and you're sitting pretty. But then when it comes to retirement time, yeah, the city's great. You have all these great fancy restaurants. You have all these things. It starts to get a little bit more. You're out of the rat race, and you're into the more relaxed vibe. And so people are looking for a change of pace. And I think that is a big one when we're talking about our age, when we're talking about people who are looking. It's the what else. So I think you're never going to replace a New York City if you've lived in New York City all your life. It's just your second home. Wherever you go, it's not going to be there. If you've traveled, you realize that. If you've been outside the city, you realize that the world is a pretty big place and there's a lot of different things going on and different way people think, and more relaxed vibes, not as hustle bustle. And like, I'm at the beach. I'm in Myrtle Beach, right? So we get a lot of people who have been from New York, and several things they say is, look, the pizza ain't any good. All right. Well, it's not New York pizza, but we've had a lot of people who have come down and opened pizza restaurants. And pizza place. So we are getting that kind of stuff. So you're not going to find the exact same things that you did back home, right? We always get the back home. It's not, we didn't do things that way back home. Well, no, you're not, because when we do move, you're going to be doing it a different way because the people there do it. And I think if you are more relaxed and accepting to whatever is going on there, what is the reason that people are leaving? It's the real question you got to start thinking about. Why does somebody want to leave in the first place? What is the struggle?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely true. But you touched on something that's near and dear to my heart, and that's pizza and bagels. And I'm outside Charleston. I'm in Charleston. I mean, I could fall out my window and I land on cobblestones, but there's no good pizza. And they say the reason for no good pizza is the water. Okay?
I've heard
it's the water in New York State. So that's kind of the deal there. But it is the cost of living. We're going to jump into that in just a second, but we had someone else just pop up here. Let's do this up on the screen and talk about this for a second. If I did not live in Florida, I would definitely move to South Carolina and save money. Yes, that's a smart move. Cost of living here is less expensive than Florida right now, without a doubt.
Al, I want to ask you a question, because this is a comment that we hear over and over again, but what else besides the cost of living? How long have you been in Florida, and has it changed? And is there anything that you would think that is really bothersome right now? Because I want to hear from you, but I hear over and over again all the things or the issues about Florida. It's not what it was. It's not where it was. Cost of living. What things are costing more? Just would like to hear your take on things as well. But that is a story that we hear very often because, Florida used to be what we always thought, the retirees would go and it was affordable place and we could get a little house there and it wouldn't cost much. And the weather's great and we can do all these fun things. And it turns out that it's really, or, you know, they start wondering about what else is there. Well, all the other people came and now we're congested and we're sitting in traffic and we have expenses from insurance. Oh my gosh, my homeowner's insurance, it's doubled, it's tripled. I can't afford it anymore. We get these hurricanes. So it's all that. I think that, after you've left Florida for a couple evacuations, it gets old because you have to pack up, you get in the car, you come back, then you wait for the all clear, then you come back again and you have to clean up your mess. And you do that a couple times when you're a little older, and it's not as fun a game as it once was.
Yeah, and Al is right. It has gotten more expensive. Everything from real estate, and I used to actually own brokerages. I had multiple offices throughout Southwest Florida. I saw the rise in prices. I was there, part of it. I got blamed for it, of course. I know, Jerry, you get blamed for it too. But
I did it. I own everything. Yeah, right.
yeah, I know. It's just blame me. I'm the fall guy. Yeah. So thanks, Al, for that. That's good. Any other insights you can share with us, please do that. And anyone else out there watching and listening today, please share that as well. We have another one here. Remember the blooming landscapes in BRD, in the gray poorness of DDR. Okay. You kind of got me there a little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, let's see. We got something there. We got some Al back again. Okay. I ended up in the area of St. Augustine. That's a beautiful place. I love it. It's very, very old Florida. Mm-hmm. And costs have tripled in the past 10 years. Yeah, absolutely, Al.
Yep. I was just there, as a matter of fact, a couple months back. And the thing that it is, I'll tell you the honest truth is a lot of South Carolinians that do decide to retire to South Carolina do travel. And then they actually travel to Florida. They don't want to live there. They'll live, change of pace, go for Airbnb, and then come back and do fun things traveling. St. Augustine is a great place. I like the downtown area. The historic part of it's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool, man. They've got carriage rides there, like horse-drawn carriage rides there. They do have some of the cobblestone stuff. They have the moss on the trees. I mean, it's a nice old, Florida town. I think it's like the oldest town in Florida. Huh?
It's like moss, horse-drawn carriages, cobblestones. That's Charleston, South Carolina.
It is, but I think it's like the oldest city in the country,
yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So let's kind of roll back to the cost of living when it comes to New York City. And I did some interviews before I put together this video I put out last week. And if you're wondering about the video, just go to my channel. You'll see it there. I put it out Tuesday last week, just after the mayor won. The deal for a lot of retirees is the cost of living. That's the big thing. But what really affects them is what's going to happen with the property taxes. Okay. Because if you're doing city-owned grocery stores, which means the city's paying for all the goods that are inside that store, if you're doing free bus rides, if you're doing all this other great stuff, money has to come from somewhere. So how do you get that money? And the money is going to come from property taxes. And I interviewed some folks. They live in a nice place of brownstone, and they're like, we're totally retired. We have a limited income. Okay. We have our pensions and 401ks and stuff like that. But if the prices go up, if the taxes go up, we can't afford it. We've been here for 40 years and we don't want to leave the city. We love it. So that's one of the big impacts that is probably going to happen because they need to get money from somewhere. And the other part of this is that a lot of wealthy people have spoken up and said, we're out, we're done. And it's not just the individuals, it's also businesses. A lot of them have left, and more now say they're going to leave as well. But people leaving that are wealthy are going to places that are more of a tax haven for them, so someplace like Florida. Right, where they can have the lifestyle that they want, where they can live freely without being taxed to death and escape that burden. And I don't know if you know about this, Jerry, but something I learned back when I had my brokerages down in Florida, a lot of CEOs would move to Florida and make it their primary residence.
Mm-hmm.
If for whatever reason their company went belly up or they were held liable for something, okay, something catastrophic, the state of Florida, if you declare bankruptcy, they cannot take your house. You get to keep the house. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's a big motivation for a lot of people. They're like, well, if something happens, we don't have to worry about it. We're not going to, lose our house. It'll stay as long as it's primary. So, the wealth moving out of New York City is going to have an additional impact on top of whatever taxes are being raised to cover the cost of all these social programs.
I think that if you look at like Miami, for instance, okay, a lot of money has moved into Miami. People have moved companies from a tax base. If you're looking at from how much income and how much goes out. I know a lot of YouTubers who have actually moved as well. They just decided they had enough. And they've chosen Florida or Miami, and some of them actually have moved here to South Carolina. But what's interesting is money moves where there's ease and it's not harder, right? It's going to just happen. If it's harder and you feel more restricted and you're in a box, money kind of starts finding a way to get out of that. And it just is, this is nothing new. This has been happening for centuries. If you think about where things are set up and why, there's a reason. But I think that, I had this conversation with a really nice gentleman. It was a half an hour conversation. He was leaving. And part of it is he did very well in New York. He was attached to the job. But he and his wife had about 6 months left, and they were no longer going to be attached to the job. And they're looking at what their actual costs are because, he's not going to be making the same. He's put away. He did the smart things. He put away for future. And they have a house which is appreciated, and they're all happy about that. But when they get down to it, how much is it going to cost to live? And so your income's not going to be the same. And so that, when it came down to money, what is the cost and what's going on here? Not that they didn't like where they were, they just needed to.
Yeah. You have hit the nail on the head again. I had a very similar conversation, but from California, Northern California, where they're being forced to take the insurance there, the state insurance, because they can't get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
They are lifelong residents of California. They'll be here in 3 weeks to start looking at property. Okay, we got them set up. I've got my big referral business going. I've got 140,000 plus agents across the country that I refer business to. People come to me, I do this strategy thing with them and then move them on to one of the agents. So I always have the initial contact. So I get to meet these people and talk with them in person and live. And, when she said that they don't run their air conditioning, which is only window units. Okay. When they don't run it, their electric bill during the summer is only about $300. If they run it, it's over $800.
Wow.
$800. And that's insane.
Yeah.
And she's like, we have to get out. We have a fixed income. We know some people in South Carolina, they want to go to the upstate. And they want to come here just to save money and make their retirement savings stretch until they don't need it anymore, which means you're kind of ending up in the ground. But they don't want to run out of money while they're still breathing.
Well, if you think about, it's survival. But there's more to it, right? When you're retired, you don't want to survive. You want to thrive. This is your time, right? And it's not about, I'm going back and forth to work. I'm doing my normal struggles. I'm trying to maintain my life, and I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. It's your time. We've got that little window of opportunity where we're physically able, mentally able, and we can actually do things and have a good time. I'm not I'm not gloom and doom here, but it's just, it's inevitable. So if it's your time, you got to think about it. If you don't make that decision, I said this last week, if you don't make a decision about something, it's happening to you. And by not making a decision and procrastinating, a lot of times we hear it. Oh, I should have, I would have, could have, man, I missed out. I remember when those things were only this much. Oh my gosh, if we were there now, we would have a good time. Now I got to deal with this.
How many times have you heard this? If you had a nickel for every time you heard this, you would never have to work again.
No.
Right. When's the best? This is the question. When's the best time to buy real estate?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yesterday.
It already happened.
Yesterday. And if it's not yesterday, it's today.
So prices are going down. I'm waiting for prices to go down. I'm waiting for interest rates to go down. I'm waiting for. But guess what? Oh, I remember when I should have bought, man, when the pandemic hit, man, those things were, yes, they were. And guess what? 10 years ago, how much were they? And then 15 years ago, how much were they? It never goes down. There's never a perfect time. It's always going to cost too much. It's never a good time to buy. Never. But I am super happy. I know, Keith, you're super happy you bought things when you did. Yeah. And I think that's what people have to realize. It's their life. It's not about, oh my gosh, I got to wait for this, that, or the other. Hey, look, if you're miserable where you are, guess what? No bell is going to go off and say, ding, okay, it's time. It's time.
Yeah. I mean, and people ask me all the time, like I just said, when is the best time? I don't have a crystal ball. And if I did have well, me too. If I did have a crystal ball, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you. I'd be in Vegas making all kinds of money. Okay? Oh, yeah. That's where I would be. I'm not going to be telling you about the best time to buy, looking into my crystal ball, put one of those, turbans on and, be Mr. Zola. There, oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, we can't have a stream without that.
The sky is falling. Sky is always falling every day.
Yeah, it is. But that's reality, folks. Is yesterday was the best time to buy it. Today is the next best time. I had a client not too long ago. He came to me, and I'm not in production, but he came to me. He was working with one of my agents, and he said, he's like, I don't want to pay this extra $5,000 or whatever the number was. It was small, which it translates into like $3.85 a month in your mortgage. But anyway, he's like, I don't want to pay that. He said, call me stupid if you think I'm stupid. And this is the first time in my life I ever said, you're stupid. The appraisal is going to come in higher than what you're paying. I know this for a fact. Okay. I know the property. I know all the facts about it. It's going to come in higher. You've already made money. Before you even closed, sign the contract and get on with life. You have a family, you have kids, you want to, and there were transplants from up north. You need to do this. Don't stay on that hesitation fence. Just go. And I'm not pushing people to go and buy real estate. That's not what I do. I'm just telling you the honest truth. This is called Unfiltered. This is a couple of guys sitting here, and usually we have a much, much prettier and attractive person with us. But unfortunately, she couldn't make it today. But, that's not our deal here. Our deal here is to give you the straight up facts. So if you have questions, if you have comments, we are talking about the retirement migration coming out of the Northeast, specifically New York City, and all of the people, hundreds of thousands of people said they're going to move. And, you see these tabloid headlines like Rosie O'Donnell said she's going to move. She finally did. Yay. Okay. Now that's a personal thing, but maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud, but I did. Anyway, but other people have left the country because they didn't like, the president coming in, and people are going to leave New York City because of the new mayor. Who knows exactly how many people are going to move in. Some are just going to say it. Some are just pissy. Some are just, kind of blinded by the whole process that took place, and they're mad. That's life. But I could tell you, the phone calls are coming in, the emails are coming in, the texts are coming in. And I know, Jerry, with your office up there in Myrtle Beach, which has been a magnet for people from the Northeast, especially in New York, for decades now.
It has. We're definitely we're still, it's amazing here what you get for the money. I was talking to a guy, and he was from California, Orange, California. I don't know where that is. Um, but he said that, um, oh my
Probably
gosh,
Orange County.
probably so. He says, oh my gosh, you are saying that this house is $400,000 and you get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. It's gorgeous, got all the upgrades. It backs up to a lake. And you're saying this is $400,000. I could sell my little condo and I could live here and everything would be paid off. I'm like, well, you know, sometimes if you make a decision to make a decision, again, it's what Al said is by not taking action in itself, the action is itself. But listen, again, I'm back to this thing. I'm not pushing, but I am telling you because it's the story that I hear 10 times a day. It's your life. And if you're wasting this sucker, time is clicking. Guys, we only have so much time. If you're not happy wherever you are because of whatever is happening, and you weren't happy before and you're still not happy, it's probably time to start thinking about something else. And because again, being miserable is not a retirement. Being unhappy, if you're working and you're miserable, we understand that's called work, right? But not everybody has a good job. I love what I do, but
you play pinball all day. Who are you kidding?
All day long, exactly. But the thing with it is if you're not happy, it's time for a change. And a lot of people never make that change. And what I'm telling you is why this is because every day I get these calls that say, oh, we can't make it anymore. We were thinking about doing it. We were a year out or whatever. My husband got sick. My health issues with this, that, and the other. We should have bought. Oh, we got too old. And I'm not exaggerating here. We had a couple that were just getting ready to turn 80, and they were struggling to get around. They looked at properties for a day, and they were all excited, but they couldn't do it even on the second day to look at property. Do you think that is? I mean, it's a shame, right? But I'm just saying, this is with one of my agents here in my office. I heard this. I'm just saying that if that is the point where it's that window, I think maybe was missed, and it's the regret. And I hear it all the time is the regret. We could have done this. We had the money. We were waiting for the grandchildren that we never see. We were doing this, that, or the other, and we missed our time. Now, why am I saying this? First off, I'll tell you, I did write a book. Okay. And real quick, it's a good segment.
You sat down and wrote a book?
Yeah. So here's the deal. It's the stuff that we think about on a daily basis, the seemingly insignificant things that get us to where we are, is the compound effect of where we finally get into life and we're able to do it. But a lot of times we plan for that, our adventure, our retirement, but we never plan for all the other stuff and we never put it down. So I made a workbook because this is the thing that happens over and over again. It's going on Amazon tomorrow. It's half price. It's normally $19.99. It's $9.99. I'm pitching this not as a pitch. I'm giving it away. There's free shipping. Giving it away at cost, literally. The reason is because I don't want you to miss out on this final chapter of your life. And it's a workbook. It's 200 pages. You can go through. You can check things off, and you can also organize your life. And that's really what it is for you, your loved ones, and give this to somebody who is in the same positions, because I'm telling you, it's a time saver. And I get it all the time where somebody has gotten into, they didn't plan the rest of it. They planned the retirement, but they didn't get to everything else. And now we're here. And now what do we do? So that was the reason I wrote the book, just to be helpful. We're not making any money on this. I'm giving it away at cost. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know about that. Here it is. It's going out tomorrow on Amazon. Wish you well if you get it. If you don't, no worries. I'm not concerned at all.
It'll be there. Yeah, it'll be there. I mean, that's a great tool to put out there for people, because people are looking for direction, and we know that they turn to this exact platform, okay, YouTube, to get information, and that's what we're here to do. But to give it to you straight up, unfiltered, no BS. This is the way it is. We don't need to sell another house in our lives. No. We can retire tomorrow. We love doing this. We love talking about it. We love our community. And I'm talking about our YouTube community, but also our real estate community. We love doing this. We love helping people do it. We've been doing it for decades. Jerry is still active with his brokerage doing it. On the other hand, like I said before, I've got 140,000 plus agents that I work with that get all of the people that come to me through this platform. And not to be outdone by Mr. Jerry, I have a book too. But mine's really cheap. Because it's only 100 pages, so that's why it's so cheap. But this is another mistake people make. This is what happens a lot. Okay, there's a lot of myths out there about when you retire, and those myths can cost you substantial money. Okay, substantial money. If you don't know these things, you could be overpaying for a lot of things. And I know before we came on this stream again today, Jerry was telling me about a car that he had come in from California that has license plates on it from California. So. And he's going to be, breaking out some C notes pretty soon to be paying for that registration because it's from California. And that's one of those hidden costs that people don't think about when they move to some other state, specifically South Carolina, where it is that little hidden tax, and I got calls from people, years ago. They're like, how come you didn't tell me about this? I'm like, I can't tell you everything. Well, now I can. So, go grab the book. You can read it. I hope you enjoy it. Again, it's not a moneymaker. It's out there because I have to pay Amazon to, print it and ship it. And also there's a digital copy of it as well. So you can just download it. So you're good from there. But let's swing it back again to our friends up there in New York City, because like I said, I had a bunch of different interviews with people. And this doesn't sound significant. It doesn't sound like it's going to change the world. But for this one woman who was 80 years old, it changed, totally changed her. She gets up every day and she goes down to the corner bakery and she gets a croissant. That croissant for years has been $3.
Yeah.
When she went in last week, after the election, it was $3.50. Now, 50 cents doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 12% higher or thereabouts than, it was the day before. And she asked why. And the explanation she got was that the bakery couldn't afford to keep paying for the private garbage collection in the city because they charge for it. So they had to raise their prices on everything just to pay that and stay in business. You're talking about someone that's on a fixed income. Okay, if she gets one a day, I mean, you could do the math over a month. It's only $15. Okay, it's not a lot of money, but it is a lot of money when it comes down to whether you're paying your heating bill, your electric bill, your bus fare or transportation costs, you're paying for medication. There are so many things that you have to be cognizant of when you are in that fixed income situation. Absolutely. You may have money, working for you in the background. Okay, maybe in stocks or some kind of equity thing. Who knows what you may have, but there are so many costs related to it. And when there's an election like this that happened in New York City, people are like grabbing their purses, they're grabbing their wallets, they're checking their bank accounts, they're online with their phones. They're like, what the hell do I do now? How much money do I need to survive all of this? Because it's coming. And what I mean, what's coming is there's going to be a substantial cost of living increase in New York City. And this is not a scare tactic. This is reality, guys. Total reality. We've seen it before. We see what happens. Part of what happens, and this is, again, one of those unseen kind of ramifications that will happen with so many people leaving. That's money going out the door. A lot of wealthy people said they were going out the door. What does that mean? That means that tax basis disappears from the city. It's no longer there. And what do you do? How do you do it? How do you get that money back? How do you bring in businesses? I remember a couple of years ago, Amazon was going to move into just on the other side of, I forget, just outside of Manhattan. I forget the little town it was going to go into. And they were going to employ thousands of people and blah, blah, blah. But the city gave them shit. They gave them a hard time. And they said, forget it. We're done. We're out. were gone, and they pulled out everything, and it really kind of left a very bad taste in a lot of New Yorkers, mouths.
Think about everybody who uses Amazon. I mean, that's like, especially in the city. Oh my gosh, the convenience factor of that being there. But you know, here's something that falls into that. You're talking about cost of living. You're talking about inflation, things that are going to go up in a city, right? Now, the question, because you hit it right there, it is exactly what it is. The question I have is, what happens? How do we know how long someone's going to last or live when they're in retirement? Okay, so if you've got all these forces that are against you, eating away at your earned income, whatever it might be, when you get older, you're not going to be moving. All right. Again, back to this decision thing. You're probably going to get trapped. I'm not doing scary times here. I'm just talking like it is. Unless you got, and I hope you do. I hope you socked your money away, everybody, whoever's watching. And I hope you got, and you're happy as can be, because that's what life is all about. But not everybody is there. And what ends up happening is people end up in a trap and they can't get
Mm-hmm.
out. When you get
Mm-hmm.
old, the first thing you want to do is be trapped and not be able to get out. I'm not saying it makes things pleasant, but if you have options, and you make a choice, it probably is a better thing. Now, inflation. You just said that bagel was $3 and it went to $3.50.
Mm-hmm.
A croissant. Okay, what's that percentage? What does that work out to be? Because that's more than
it's like 12% or something like that.
That's think of that. Okay, now that's 12%. Now, what else is going up by 12%, and how much more of that sustainability can you actually do? Because then I got to go up. Oh my, that went up. Now I got to go. My price has to go up. Oh, and that one goes up, and that's what inflation is, and especially if it's in a pocket to pay for whatever goods or services. I mean, rents will go up, things will go up, insurances will go up. I did hear, and I don't know if it's accurate because I don't try to watch everything, but I did hear he wants to raise the minimum wage as well. Is that accurate?
I'm
like
clueless on that one.
$30. And again, somebody comment and let me know because I don't know. But
yeah, well, the other thing, and Trump stepped in the day of the election. He didn't wait for it to be over. He did it during the day. He sent his head of transportation back to New York City to try to kick out that congestion tax again.
No,
and this time he's not going to stop it. He said, "It's done. We're done with this thing. This is ridiculous. We're not going to keep taxing people to go to different places in New York City. It's turning it in quote unquote. This is Trump, not me. It's turning New York City into a ghost town."
Yeah. Well, I do know for a fact the traffic wise with that is much less before with it or without it. If you've ever been to Manhattan before, you know what Manhattan is. I mean, it is.
I was there in May. Yeah, believe me, I know.
You know what it is. I mean, so and there's a lot of people. Listen, we all know this. There's a lot of people who live in New York, and it's all vertical. It's unlike other places. And city-wise, there's bigger cities that are out there. There's big cities that are out there, and it's vertical. But when you think about all of this density in one area all at one time, and then the increase and the compound effect of all these things, it's going to leave some people a little bit hurt. And we're already hearing it. That's what I'm saying. These phone calls that are coming in may not have felt anything yet, but they're like, if I'm at the end of my road of my work session, I'm out of this thing because I'm not going to live here in my apartment or my condo or my co-op and my house or a brownstone, whatever it might be. And I'm not going to pay those taxes because I own the thing or I'm involved. I mean, I understand everybody has to make a living wage and everything has to move and all the cogs of the gears have to mesh. But when you move one thing up, the peg goes up, the peg goes up, the peg goes up. And then now what? Somebody's got to pay for it.
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions about that, but Al chimed in again with the cost of living adjustment. Okay, for 2026, it's only 2.6%. Yes, for Social Security. Let's just clear that up a little bit. But so 12%, you're in the red. just for a croissant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as you mentioned, Jerry, I mean, and then multiply that by everything. Your cab ride goes up, your electricity goes up, your heating goes up, because that's different in New York City because they use the old oil method of heating there. So that's a separate bill altogether.
Yeah.
And then, you've got the trash pickup. You've got, you want to go out to eat. Forget about it. It's crazy how expensive things have gotten, especially in Manhattan. And if I have one more millennial swing around that stupid Apple pad to say, give me a tip, it's going to become a disc. It's going to go flying out the door because it's ridiculous. It's like, you just handed me a soda. That's all you did. I mean, and you want a 20% tip? Give me a friggin' break. Anyway, that's a rant for another day. So Al's back with, unless you have children and they're a couple to help you move when you're old, you're stuck. Yeah, listen,
100%.
the days of pizza and beer with your buddies to move you is over. That's
Everybody's
long.
complaining about their backs and they can't help, or I can't move a box or anything heavy. Forget
I'm
about
busy
it.
that day.
Hey, do you know how much it costs to move now as well? I don't know if you guys have
No.
looked into this. You're talking about sticker shock, okay? And I'm going to tell you another little scam real quick. I don't want to get too boring and off channel here, but here's the deal. When you think about moving, and we think about, 2 men in a truck, we're packing up, whatever it might be. It's not $500. It's not $1,000. You're going to be 10, 12, and you're not talking about moving cross country either. We're talking about a regular house. A lot of people now are selling their stuff before they move. And here's the other scam. Real quick, I want to save somebody some money on this because I'm all about saving money. The scam now is, we'll do it for, let's say everybody else is quoting you at 12 or whatever. They'll do it for 8. They'll hold your stuff hostage. Okay. You can't get your stuff until you've written that check or you've paid it by credit card. I've heard this twice already in the last 3 weeks. So I know it's something that's happening, and we have people that are moving here to South Carolina. I knew this has got to be happening all over the United States. Hey, look, one of them came out of New York. So there you go. But my point being is, don't get scammed. I mean, get it in writing. Make sure you know what you're paying for if you're moving.
Yeah, we've got Jacqueline we'll put your comment up in just a second, but I want to touch on that for a second because they tried it on me, and man, they were stupid. Yeah. Now, people that don't know me, Jerry knows me. I'm 6'6", 265 pounds. At the time, I was married to an attorney who was a partner in a large law firm in New York City, and we moved to Greenwich, Connecticut. Okay, just over the border from White Plains into Greenwich. And I mean, these movers, they're gorillas. They're big guys. Okay. And after they moved everything in, all of a sudden the bill went up by 50%. And I'm like, what are you talking about? 50%. Oh, we had to use more tape. We had to use bubble wrap. We had to use ties. We had to do this. I'm like, no, that shit ain't going to fly. I'm sorry. It's not going, period. Well, let me get my boss on the phone. And the guy goes, get on the phone. He goes, yeah, he's standing right in front of me. He's like, no, he's bigger than me. No, his wife is an attorney. Yeah. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not taking it back. And I listened to it. He's like, I'm not taking this stuff back out of the house. I'm like, if you touch a piece of dust and move it out of here, you're toast.
It's going down. Yeah.
You and your boss. Anyway, he hung up the phone. His boss is like, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to you. Anyway, long story short, I gave him each $100. I said, thanks so much. Here's your tip. It's for you. Do not give it to your company. This is for you. And $100 back then was a lot of money for a tip. And I'm like, here you go. So yes, there are scams out there. Hold your ground. And if you get into that pickle, give me a call, text me. I'll talk to them. I'll fix them real quick. Because the last thing they want to do is mess around with someone who's moved thousands of people. And I've heard the stories.
I mean, don't get scammed. And again, there's so many scams out there today, guys. We all know this. But I mean, just don't keep yourself out of trouble. That's all it is.
All right, Jerry, you're up here.
All right. So here we have retirement priority 1, church. 2 is Republican. 3, open carry. 4, small town. 5, low tax or property tax. There's a lot of places that fit that niche if that's where you're looking.
Yeah, that would be South Carolina right there.
That would be, it's Jacqueline. And I would say if you think, okay, so small town, it's not going to be a city, but I will say something. I want you to think about this. You want to be a small town, but you want to be close enough but far enough away from the big city or the big town conveniences as well. Healthcare. Think down the road, things that will happen, right? I mean,
Airports.
this is in this book, but I'm not pushing the book. My point is think future. Not today what you need, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Think about that. Small town, open carry, Republican, church, and low property tax. South Carolina, no matter where you live in South Carolina, has the 5th lowest property tax in the nation. Now, you can get lower, but if you get the mix of all the stuff that's going on, all the things, and it's not a one size fits all. Some things people don't like. We're a little quirky, but it's a pretty good, I love it. I mean, it's the land of pleasant living. I think it's a pretty good place to live. But you can be close enough but far enough away from a major metropolitan area. Think about that too. So good question. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is good. And just to address number 3, open carry. Okay. I'm an advocate without a doubt. And that law passed, about a year ago, maybe, Jerry? I can tell you definitively, okay, and I travel throughout the state, I have not seen one person open carry in the entire state. You have the right to do it.
2. That's all I've seen.
But if you go to a rural area like a farm or something, yes, you'll see that. It's different. That's more for like the boars or something that may, pop out of the woods or the field, and it's more protection.
Now,
it's not
concealed carry, on the other hand, Keith, would you agree? Concealed carry, that's a big, everybody, a lot of people are concealed carry.
Yeah, it very, very true. And, that's okay. You have something in your console, in your car, your glove box, whatever it happens to be. I've had a gun pulled on me. Okay. And I'm like, yo, man, no mas. Okay. It wasn't anything that I did wrong. I was just in the wrong place. And that's what happened here. But it looks like Jacqueline's come back. Let's throw her comment up here. Clowns electing mom dummy. That's good. I like that one. Ignorant or on social services already. I don't know how factual, but it's funny.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody has an opinion about something, but guess what we get to do? We get to vote about it. And you also vote with 2 ways. You vote with your dollars, you vote with your, and so you don't necessarily have to be just voting like one time a year, one time every 4 years or midterms or any of that stuff. People vote with their dollars and their feet every single day. If you don't like something, you can do something about it. And there are plenty of businesses that have gone out of business because they've had a bad rap for whatever reason or another, or they had a big loss of income because of the way they were running their business or what they believed in or what they didn't believe in or whatever the case is. So I think the key here is time will tell. Nobody knows. But if people are trying to weigh their bets, which I think some people are, not everybody's going to be right and not everybody's going to be wrong. That's all. But here we go again. Okay, not too far from the hospital. Places that allow open carry tend to be polite. True, but I'm going to say that I think that there's other combination platter. I'm going to do the number 5 combination platter. Here we go. Retirement priority is number 1 is the church. Okay, well, think about this. I want you to think. And number 2 is Republican and small town and low property tax. Those people tend to be happy, don't they?
Hell yes.
I mean, I think they do. And honestly, I think it's all comes down to being happy. If you're not happy, ain't nothing right. It's all a problem. Everything's a disaster. But look, if your priorities in Al, you said you're back to this again, healthcare. I agree with you. Look, when you get to a certain point, and I can't remember how it's said, but the healthy person has 1,000 dreams, but the person who has a sickness only has 1 dream. And it's so true. And if you need help, that is a priority. That's your priority right then and there. And a lot of people don't think they're going to get to that point, but I think if we make it that far, we probably will. The low property, good. I mean, Go ahead, Keith.
No, I was just go take this next comment. Go ahead. You're on a roll.
Okay. It's a jelly roll, so watch out. Uh,
One of my favorite songs.
so here we go. You got the low property tax. So if your healthcare is your priority, I'm going to give you because this is my world. I'll tell you my part is I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Myrtle Beach is not downtown Myrtle Beach. It's a big geography. There's 60 miles of beach, but we have 5 major hospitals. And if you're close to the Grand Strand, which is a Trauma One hospital, they pretty much can cover you for everything. It's the number 7 heart hospital in the nation. If you're close to a hub like that, no matter where you are, and like Conway is just a little further out. A lot of people like Conway because it's that small town. It's now starting to be a big town, so you get a little further. But the point is, you can get to those.
Don't you have to build on elevation there now?
Yes. No. Not in. If you're close to the beach, you do. Not in.
I thought Conway was elevation now too.
Not if you're. Hey, stay off the rivers. I don't know what water is water. I don't care what.
That's probably it. Yeah.
If you're don't do that. But then Publix or Amazon delivery. Hey, we've got an Amazon distribution. I am so excited about this. This just happened. I'm getting stuff and I place an order. It's not everywhere. This isn't a national thing. I know you guys in Charleston have had this we've been like waiting, but we just got, and I can order this thing at, 6 in the morning and it's at my door at 10. I'm like, what? Are they delivering this thing by mail or drones?
We had that the other day. We've got camera systems hooked up like everybody, right? Door cams and everything. And my wife said, yeah, between 6 and 8 tomorrow morning, the guy's delivering. I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, you're half listening. And sure as shit, my phone went off. It's like, hey, there's a guy at your front door. It was pretty comical, actually. We had a good joke over our coffee that morning about it. But, South Carolina, and it's not just exclusive to South Carolina, even though it sounds like we're pushing it, we're not. North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Louisiana, Alabama.
In the right places. In the right place.
I mean, you can end up in a dump even in South Carolina. Believe me, I worked for years for one client. He did that much business. It was over $10 million a year. Okay. And it was I was like his concierge real estate agent. Okay. He had me driving everywhere in the state. I know every back road, dirt road, junkyard dog, nasty ass dog. I mean, all this stuff that you would never get to see unless you went into some of these places, because he had very specific tastes. But that's in any state. If you dig deep enough, you'll find stuff where it's not very attractive. It's not very livable. Okay. You can live there, but it may not be to your standards. But there are a lot of in-betweens where you're close enough to a city. You've got access to healthcare. You've got access to transportation. One of the big ones that I always hear, regardless of the state that I'm talking with people, is about airports, because they want to be close to an airport, to be able to go back and see their family.
Keith, I want to say something real quick because you just hit something. Would you agree, like most people who are moving out of state or to a different city, if you're moving in a city, you already know that city, you know where things are and where you don't want to be and where you want to be. If you're moving out of state, would you agree, and I think you would, because I know that you've said this to me off camera here, is that having a real estate expert as a guide is the direction, really what you need to do, because you can't know the good, the bad, and the ugly unless you get that information from a guide, an expert, not let me pick one, but I'm talking about the person who knows it like the back of their hand, wherever they are. I've had this experience before when I moved. I'm going to tell you that I picked not the average person. I wanted the person who had the best reputation, who knew this stuff, was in the business and had the hustle and was answering all my questions and wasn't ghosting me. And I mean, I did when I bought, but I'm going to tell you that I think that if you have that in your area, and Keith, I know you'll hook up people up with anybody, anywhere in the United States, no matter where they're moving, that is priceless, because you want to know, okay, I'm going to show you what's average, and I'm going to show you what's way above average. And then by the end of the day, you're going to know, okay, what you're looking for, and then what to stay away from as well. You just mentioned, is it on floods? Where area of floods? We never sell in a flood zone. We always make sure that and the area around it is not in a flood zone. We always make sure. I mean, you go to some places, you pick up whoever, they'll show you anything because they want to say anything. Not us. We tell it like it is. And we do tick a lot of people off. I will say this. We tell it like it is. May not like what we have to say. It's always going to be the truth.
Yeah, we're going to tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And so we've got here, who's this? We've got Jacqueline coming back. Okay. Laramie, Wyoming. I don't know a lot about it, but I do know it's not far from Denver, and it's not far from Salt Lake City either. You're kind of out there in the desert scape. Okay. It's, got the cold winters, cold nights, and, that kind of stuff, even during the summer. But you'll probably still get a good amount of snow there during the winter. So it just kind of depends on, where exactly you want to be and what your thoughts are. I talked to a person not too long ago that was kind of in that same situation in that corner of Nebraska and Wyoming and Kansas. And she was living in an RV, and she wanted to do a homestead up in the northwesternmost part of New Hampshire. I'm like, there's tons of snow up there. That's Canada.
Yeah, it's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold. But, she figured it out. She would volunteer for the Army Corps of Engineers on projects, and they would let her park her RV for free on the property during the time that she was helping them. So she didn't have to even pay rent for her RV parking. All she had to do was pay for her food.
I like that. It's frugal, right?
I don't know if I'm not sure it's my lifestyle, but yeah. So Jerry, we got one here for you. Apparently your shining head has paid off today.
Oh no, I'll hide it. Okay. So you want to talk about real estate around Conway. Okay. First off, it's not a conversation that's going to happen really like within 5 minutes about why it's good, because there's so many things, there's so many moving parts that we would want you to know to make sure that it's, first off, the right fit for you, because it's, again, not for everybody. There are sections. I mean, there's new homes, there's existing construction. I will say this about Conway, just the short version before we actually talk, because we definitely do want to talk, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to give you information about, or my team is going to give you as well. Conway just is a cute little town. If you looked at it from the standpoint of it being the clock tower in Back to the Future, that's the town that it kind of looks like. They just rebadged the name of it. It's the town of Halloween. Believe it or not, it is on the map now, because Halloween Town, they decorated the entire town, the whole town.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they do this every year. It's funny as hell.
It is funny, but I mean, these residents are super fun. The city, everybody gets, the employees of the city. They have pumpkins in all the trees. It's moss shaped trees, and all the shops are participating, the restaurants and all that stuff. So anyway, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on, and it's, again, where, what, how, why, when. So we would need to talk about that.
Yeah, and Barry, I just put the information to get a hold of Jerry in the chat there. So feel free to reach out to him. I mean, you're talking to a guy that's got a world of knowledge about this. We spent, I don't know, we were in December, listen to me. We're in Dallas a couple of weeks ago.
Slow down.
I'm getting ahead of myself. And, we talked for hours about, because of our proximity and we, working in South Carolina, but we talked for hours about it and, really dug into what goes on behind the scenes. It's not the fun stuff of going and showing appointments and looking at nice houses and looking at, the beautiful landscapes and all that. That stuff you get blinded by. You don't need that. What you need to do is dig down behind that and find things out and figure out what it's going to take you to get to the nearest hospital, the nearest grocery store. What does the nearest grocery store look like at 1:00 on a Thursday versus 8:00 on a Saturday morning? What does the traffic flow look like at 2:00 on a Thursday as opposed to 5:00 on Friday? So, and Jerry's the guy who knows this stuff. He lives it. I do the same thing. I can only help you in Charleston. Well, if you want to come here, the rest of the country, well, I'll leave it up to the agents. But talk to them,
And just,
and
I would say this, it's not just don't get, here's the thing about the internet. It's a great tool, but just remember this. Don't get hooked on one area. Okay. Keep an open
yeah,
mind until you actually visited that area, because Conway is great, but we also have a lot of other small towns that are close enough but far enough away that we really want to consider, that are super awesome. But there's also some places that you probably not so much. So again, that's the reason. It's not about the I'm going to buy this house. Anybody can open doors and let you in. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. This is a purveyor of information. If you decide to buy, that's great. If you decide not to buy, that's fine too. But at the end of the day, you're going to know what's there and what's way above. And that's, I think, the key that Keith is talking about when he's hooking you up with a real estate expert. It's not about, here's a guy. Okay. It's about, this person is game on. He's done his due diligence. He knows who, he's not just handoff. It's about finding you the right fit for you, because not everybody's the right fit for everybody. So
yeah, I say that a lot, and even to our YouTuber friends, they're like, "Oh, I only got so many, subscribers or views or whatever." I'm like, take a walk through this room of 100 people. Are you going to like everyone? The answer
yeah,
is no. Is everyone going to like you? The answer is no. So take it with a grain of salt. You don't walk on water. You don't have the sandals to walk on water. That's what we used to say all the time. But here's another comment, Jerry. I think this one's for you. So let's throw this up here.
all right. So it's last time you checked Conway, it was a few years, still like $100,000 less than anything in St. Augustine, and I'm sure new builders are there now. Yes. So outside of Conway, there's several towns that are being developed as we speak. And so the nice thing about this is we know where things are going to be. In other words, a lot of people think that South Carolina is a little backwards, right? But here's the good news. We actually know where things are going to be. They actually planned where the roads are going to be and where the shopping centers are going to be and where all this stuff is before the subdivisions go in. It's smart, right? But a lot of places, they don't think about that. They put a subdivision and then they think about, oh,
Yeah,
I got to get
they think about the infrastructure after that.
So the good news is we are truly in our infancy here. And the reason for that is because we have a lot of land. Now, if you go to any beach town or anywhere close to most beach towns, it's fully developed. Today, I could take you to an oceanfront lot on the ocean and you can buy an oceanfront lot. Now, where else are you going to do that in the United States, right? But inland, we also have all that other infrastructure. And again, it's not a one size fits all. There's some developments that are, again, very affordable, very, very affordable for what you get. And then there's others that are very luxurious. I mean, and I'm talking like, you can't believe that this is actually here. So we have all those different levels. It's not just straight across the board. It's pretty interesting what's going on here. And I say, we're in our infancy. We're still growing. And it's, I think, one of those things, build it and they will come. But the good news is,
I get the hate mail all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
And I talk about real estate on a national level, but people still know I'm from South Carolina, and I'll talk about South Carolina. Actually, I got a nasty gram today from a comment from some lady who said, if you say Greenville first, I'm going to unsubscribe, and they must be paying you to say this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, look, I can't not tell you the truth. This is the truth. This is one of the quiet boom towns of the entire country.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, there's traffic if you're downtown, but you're not going to live downtown if you're retired. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
Unless you want vertical living. That's the only reason to live there. Otherwise, you're going to be in the outskirts, or you could be in Travelers Rest, or you could be in Boiling Springs, you could be in Spartanburg, whatever. There's plenty of places to be that have action, but they're not going to keep you up at night with the action. It's not like downtown Greenville, but you have access to all of the amenities right there. And the favorite thing I like about it, because I did put a video out about this, where I would retire, because so many people have asked me, where are you going to retire? My place is Greenville. Well, not Greenville proper, but the area, probably the lakes. And it's close enough to the airport. It's close enough to Blue Ridge, where I used to have another house, a property. I love the Appalachians. I love all of that stuff. It's fantastic. And I could still be 4 hours to the beach when I need to get some salt back in my blood.
I think that is another thing that you just hit on. You know, South Carolina, unlike a lot of places, you're close to water. You're also close to the mountains. A lot of places you're either, you know, if you're out west, sometimes it's deserts, flat. There's nothing really around that much. You can literally be within 4 hours. You can be in 2 hours in totally different place. You could be in a city. I mean, and you could be close to Charlotte for that matter, and still be in South Carolina
Yeah.
and be in
Rock,
North Carolina, big city, in like no time at all.
yeah, Rock Hill.
So
Rock Hill is right
Rock
there.
Hill,
And what's
I've got,
the other one up there? Indian what? Indian Place, Indian something. I forget the.
not Indian Wells. That's another guy that I know. But Rock Hill, I have a friend of mine who's a really good agent there, and she is. I mean, we always talk. You got somebody coming here? Yeah, we trade. You know, this is the perfect fit for you. I'm going to tell you what it is and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it is an awesome area because again, you're that close enough but far enough away scenario where you're not sitting. You don't have to be in traffic. You don't have to be in a big city, but you could be there, and you need to get culture. You go do it.
Yeah.
You know, and look, Charleston, you guys, you're like an hour and a half away. So if I need to go get some culture for some reason, not that.
Listen, if I want culture, I'll go get some yogurt. All right. No, I mean, Charleston, you're right. I mean, it's a mecca for so many different reasons. And I got people coming in from out west and from down south for New Year's Eve, this upcoming New Year's Eve. And I'm not a New Year's Eve guy. I mean, I'm sleeping by 9:00. I'm like out on the couch or snoring someplace. And they're like, no, we want to go out in Charleston, downtown Charleston. I'm like, you're out of your mind. I don't want to do that. And they're like, no, we have to. We haven't seen you in 30 years, so we want to go out in Charleston.
Okay.
But that's like any other state though, because or city. When I lived in New York, when I lived outside in the suburbs as well, I never went to the city unless out of towners came in and they wanted to go see the Empire State Building.
Oh, it's for sure. You got to go all the tourist things when you have friends and family in.
Yeah, and I know Sean has got a saying about like don't make the place too nice, otherwise they don't leave.
Yeah,
but I forget exactly. I don't want to misquote her, but I mean that's what happens when you're in the South. It's February and people are freezing their butts off up there in New England or the Midwest or wherever. They're like, we need to defrost. We need to calm down.
Isn't it funny when somebody moves to the South, how they'll post their pictures on social media and kind of like rub it into their friends? It's like, you guys are freezing. We're sitting here.
Yeah, there's an old meme. I'm going to mess it up totally, but it's something like, it was the night before Christmas, and the thermostat was set at 68 or whatever, and there wasn't a snowflake in sight, blah 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 blah. It went on with the whole rhythm of that I guess poem or whatever it is, but that's the way it is here, and that's the attraction. As you get older, you really most people. Okay, I have to paraphrase this correctly. Not even paraphrase. I need to frame it correctly. Most people don't like the cold. I do know people. I work with people that want to go to Wyoming or Nebraska or wherever, Iowa, Idaho. That's fine. That's your gig. I'm not taking it away from you, but I like to be warm.
I do too. And what's interesting? If you're in a place which has moderate temperatures like we have, it's not as blazing hot as Florida. Like I can't go outside, I'm going to melt and I can't do anything because I'm hibernating. It's the reverse of hibernation in Florida where you're hibernating in the summer. Or you actually are traveling. So if you want to hit the snow and you want to go skiing or doing whatever you want to do, you can do it. But if you're in a moderate temperature place, it can't be all that bad, can it? I mean,
no, it's not. And actually, what we do, what we like to do, my wife and I during the holiday season, the first week or two in December, we're doing it this year, heading up to Asheville. Okay, Asheville had a rough time. They got hit by the hurricane. They're rebuilding. So we figured we'd go support them a little bit and also go to the Biltmore at the same time, which has a fantastic Christmas setup. It's not inexpensive, but it's beautiful. It's the largest privately owned residential property in the United States.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic just to go get the winter vibe. Okay. Get the Christmas vibe because yeah, we put up a Christmas tree, but we look outside at the palm trees in our swimming pool. Okay.
Yeah. We decorate our palm trees. We have lights on our palm
Yeah.
trees. That's fun.
we,
That's all.
we do that too. Let's see. We got, who do we have here? We have Cheryl. It looks like, if I'm doing that right.
Is
Cheryl,
the
you're up.
airport noise, yep, is the airport part, I can't talk. Okay. Is the airport noise prevalent in Conway? Okay. So when you're here, we're going to show you what is not in the flight path. And first off, it's a little higher there because you're coming in. But there are certain subdivisions that we will recommend. And there are certain places that we also
But you're not steering, of course. You're not
No.
steering. You're just presenting facts.
Look, we tell it like it is, and you may not like it. You might think everything, but we're going to tell you like it is. But here's the thing, because you may not recognize it. I'm going to tell you a true story. Had a lady.
Oh, good. Story time. Story time. Here we go.
Oh my gosh. I had a lady who bought in the wrong neighborhood. And the reason she did is because we were going to save money and go directly to the builder and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, I got a call. Hey, Jerry, we got to bail out of here. When they reverse flight plans, when the wind is shifting directions, it comes this way. I'm like, well, I could have told you that. You did it. So anyway, we got her out of that house. We got her in the right house. But it's the what else, guys? It's not the, oh, this house looks great online. Forget it. You need to feel it, see it, touch it. You need an expert to tell you everything that you need to know, not just, oh, this is a nice house. Let me stick my key in the door. Look, here's the bedroom. We can see what it is. That's not what you need. You need an expert.
True. Can I tell a story now since it's story time?
Go.
Guy that I worked with went into traveler's rest. And this is unusual because I worked with him directly. And he's a fan of the channel. I'm sure he's going to watch this. I'm sure he's going to be like sending me death threats. But he moved up there into a new construction. The road, it was a corner lot. So the road on both sides of his house was messed up. The developer messed it up. Then they finally read deeper into the CNRs, okay, so the covenants and restrictions, and they realized that and this wasn't a fault of my own, they were told this, they realized themselves now that the developer owned so many lots still inside the place that he had the majority vote. So to the request to fix stuff, no. So what did he end up doing? Selling in 1 year, less than 1 year, and moving just north of you, up on the North Carolina side, Southport, I think, is up there. And it's like, now he definitely knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, it's crazy when you're like, look, there are certain things that you need to know about Traveler's Rest. The traffic on, I forget what it is, 78 going into Greenville itself, the traffic. And a developer, and this is the key, the developer, and I know you do this, Jerry, where you get the latest minutes and you go through them and you find out what's going on in the community. Because if you're not aware of maybe an upcoming assessment or an upcoming issue they have to deal with, you could be moving into a hornet's nest.
Yeah. We had one, this is a simple but easy. We had a lady who was very adverse to technology. Okay. She wanted to be in a gated community. And unfortunately, the only way that the gate would work was through an app on the phone. And I said, it's funny that you say this because this just happened. I said, hey, they're switching out from the barcode that you read when you pull up to the gate. And I know this for a fact. It's going to be on your app on your phone. Oh, I can't do that. I was like, well, I knew this. This is coming up. They're switching all this stuff out. So it's the little simple, seemingly nothing insignificant that's going to make you happy or not happy. At least the knowledge of this happening is the priority rather than oh yeah, I'm in the wrong place. I got to get out of here.
That's what we say here. The easiest way to keep somebody out of a gated community is give them a pass to get in it.
Yeah. Well, they're not, I mean, everybody thinks they're safe and all that. You look, if people want to get into a place, they'll get into a place. A gate is for the progress.
I did. It's 2 years ago this November. So this month, 2 years ago, I interviewed a couple who came down from New Hampshire, and they moved in locally, and they're friends of mine, and
Yeah.
we know blah blah blah. Anyway, they live in a gated community, and I was recording at the time going through the gate. I'm like, I'm going to tell the attendant that I'm just going to the clubhouse, and let's see if that works. And I pull up to the gate. I'm like, hey, I'm going to the clubhouse. He's like, go right ahead. Yep, go ahead. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's how ridiculous it gets. Like I said, if you want to, get someone, keep them out, give them the pass to get in, because it never works.
Yeah. When you need it to. Okay. So how is healthcare? And guys, I do have to go because I have a dinner appointment that I'm going to be getting to. So, but I'm going to answer this question here: is how is the healthcare situation in Myrtle Beach area? So if you read online all this silliness, because everything online you read is absolutely true. I want to say, where
Absolutely.
are you going and what are you doing? Because here's the facts. There's a sign on a billboard here that says how many minutes to the emergency room. Okay. And people say, well, I waited in the emergency room. Now, there's a lot of questions you need to ask. What was your priority level of what you actually needed in the emergency room? Because if anybody needs higher level priority, they're going to get better service and faster. The second thing is, I had personally, my father and my mother were elderly, and we went many times to various emergency rooms. I'm going to tell you that I know that you will get excellent health care and excellent emergency room service if you're going to the right place. And if you're not in the right place, I'm telling you, if you're further out, further away, you may not be in the right place, okay? Because they have these little satellite emergency rooms. Now, what I mean
Yeah.
by satellite emergency rooms are, you got the big boy hospital, and then you got these little satellite emergency rooms. Sometimes, even though they're further away, are not your best option because all your ancillary services are in the big boy hospitals. Now, the second thing I want to tell you is this. I have also been in the emergency room with family members. I've got 3 daughters and been married, and stuff happens. So when you go into the emergency room, if you're coming in the middle of summer and it's July 4th weekend and there's 17 million people at the beach, you're going to spend some time at the emergency room, guys. Just the way it is. I don't care where you go, but there are emergency rooms where you can walk in, and I did this just recently. I just went into the emergency room because I just had a procedure, and they said, just go over to such and such place and go in there. I'm like, oh boy. So I walk in, there's 2 people in the emergency room, 2, literally. And I said, what's your name? Okay, you have an appointment? Yes. Come on back. Literally right in. So guys,
Wow.
the noise that you hear is all going to have to do with variables. How severe? I got a boo-boo on my ankle. Okay, I don't think you're going to get treated like the person who's doing something else, right? But you just got to realize that there's a lot of noise on the internet. And it is that because do you think everybody on the internet is happy? What do people say that they're happy about? That's what I want to know. What are they happy
Listen,
about?
and if you want the straight up, no BS stuff, get a hold of Jerry, get a hold of myself. We're going to give it to you. We have 0 at stake. The only thing we have at stake is our reputations, and that's linked directly to helping people. We're not going to steer you wrong with it. We're not selling a damn thing.
Right.
You want the help, come and do it. This is like a public service kind of a thing. We love doing it. We get views on our YouTube channels, and people come in, and I do the referrals, and Jerry works with them directly. And the same thing with Sean. She specializes in 55 plus, but this is the BS less zone. Okay, that's just what it is. Jerry, I know you got to jump. I appreciate you being here again today, and I got my fancy shirt on. You're familiar with this one. I think you got one too.
I do. I got one,
Maybe
but not today. It's
not today. Well, you're decked out to go to dinner, so you're good. But anyway, listen. As far as New York City goes, yes, there's going to be a migration out of retirees specifically. Where they're going, we don't know yet. Probably south. That's what they're saying. They're saying the wealthy people, they're leaving. That's going to affect your tax basis. Everything that's going on there has yet to be seen because it's all just hyperbole at this point. Okay. It's just politicians. But people are taking real life action. And if you're one of them, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you, just to chat with you, meet you, and maybe talk about you again on an upcoming stream. So
we're here to help. We're here to help.
Very-
And a lot of people think that they can do all this stuff on their own and they can figure everything out because the internet is so handy and AI and this, that, and the other. The reality is there are so many flaws to that because AI does not know everything. AI doesn't know all the physical things that you really need to know to make the smart decision. I'm not saying you can't make a decision, but when you're moving, and especially moving in retirement, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you got to be 80% happy or you're not going to be happy. If you get that level below that, you got to fill a lot of check boxes to get there. It's not just the house guys, it's all the what else. So wishing you guys well. We appreciate you guys watching.
Yep, it's life. Enjoy it out there. Have fun. Stay safe. Look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Hey, give us a thumbs up. Before everybody gets off of here, please give us a thumbs up on this thing. We're going to make sure that you guys are watching because this helps the algorithm. Some people don't like what we're talking about and they opt out. But I mean, just please give us a little love. We appreciate you.
But that's okay too. I mean, some people like Mickey Mouse and some people don't.
That's right. Everybody likes.
And some people like guys with hair, but we're not there.
We're trying to clone ourselves here. That's working.
Oh, that's a scary
provoking mind meld. That's what it is.
I'm going to leave that one alone. Thanks so much, Jerry. Great to see you. And everyone else out there, stay safe, be good. I just knocked my thing over. Okay.